One mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One mic with Big Mike.
You know, ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah, I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host,
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Hell yeah, boy. Friday is here. End of the week. Whew, we made it. Everybody, we made it. Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show, being heard right here on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app for all your mobile devices. Appreciate you guys joining me. I am Big Mike. Don't forget, you guys need to sign up for your free Spreaker accounts. They're absolutely free, just like Twitter and Facebook and all these other things you're on. So go ahead and sign up for it real quick and follow me at the number 1 Mike with Big Mike. That's 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE, and the website and the app is Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and of course, like I just mentioned, the app in your in the Android store. What is it called? The Play Store, your Apple Store, whatever. Follow me as well on Twitter and Instagram. Same handle, 1 Mike with Big Mike, the number 1 Mike with Big Mike, and Facebook.com, ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE is my Facebook page. So make sure you guys are liking me there as well. Mentioned to you guys earlier in the week. I didn't do a show on Wednesday, but Monday I talked to you guys about my website coming, onemicwithbigmike.com. Time is just, time is of the essence. I hadn't really had time to focus on it like I want to. But you can email me there. That part is done. Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Same thing, number 1, not the spelled out version. 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Also, don't forget, if you don't get the show live, while you're listening live, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock, make sure you guys jump on in the live interactive chat room so I can get your thoughts. You guys can share your thoughts with one another. You can speak amongst yourself. You can speak to me. I do reply and those type of things. So once you're listening, there'll be a little thought bubble dancing around. Or if you're listening on the app, it'll just be a little thought bubble at the bottom. Just click on that, and you'll find yourself in the chat room and being a part of the show. And everyone's welcome. Everyone else. The other day, the LGBT All-Stars followed me on Instagram. So, I'm all about that. All inclusive. You know what I mean? The numbers are the numbers. Speaking of, appreciate you guys for, downloading and streaming the show on Spreaker, or if you're going to YouTube or whatnot. The numbers are looking good. Not great yet, but it's a slow process, slow grind. We're gonna grow this thing from the ground up. When I say we, I guess I mean me. Appreciate it. Let's see what else I got to get out of the way before I tell you guys what's going to be on this final show of the week. Don't forget, I mentioned to you guys, the homie Tariq is working on a new project that I'm a part of somewhat, urbansportsonline.com, no fair catching allowed. So it's going to be more of what I do here, or exactly what I do here, but, some other elements will be involved, some other shows hopefully will be involved as well, and you'll get that that alternative perspective when talking sports and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that. I'll give you guys the details as they come. And don't forget spring forward. Don't forget to spring forward on Sunday morning or whatever. Sunday morning? Was it Sunday night? Sunday morning, I think. Early Sunday morning. Don't forget to spring forward before you go to bed on Saturday night. So as far as today's show go, I missed Wednesday, obviously the first day of NFL free agency, so I got to catch up today and talk about that. We're going to get in and out today. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time. Well, I'm not going to make that promise. I was going to say I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time BSing, but, things happen. So we'll talk about free agency. I talked to my people here in Atlanta. Some things went down that, it's so funny that, to see the yearly excitement this time of year. Like every year, it's like Lucy holding the ball for Charlie Brown. Like every year, people run up and try to kick it and the season starts, and that broad moves the ball every time. It's like, this ain't the time of the year you need to be getting that excited about, man. I mean, basically what you're doing is you're taking on a relationship or a member of a relationship that the other party doesn't want to be in anymore. Sometimes it works out. Yeah, sometimes it works out. Marriages happen, and then you end up in, lifelong relationships. But for the most part, just saying. So we'll talk about that, man. A couple of teams I think did a pretty good job. One team in particular, they're not named the Cleveland Browns, by the way. The compensatory picks came out today, so that's always a good thing. Teams get extra picks based on the guys they lost the previous year and the value that gets placed on them. I'll explain all that to you guys here in a second. Russell Wilson might be one step closer to getting him some booty. Yeah, congratulations to him, man. Been a long time coming. Probably, you know what, too, though? It's one of those things that might affect the game, homie. And I don't mean, off the field. It might affect his ability to play quarterback. It's certain things, man, you need to kind of, it's like becoming immune to, a snake bite, right? You got to get the venom in, a little by little, so then, you're immune. But if you just get bit all at once, yeah, it's gonna kill you. If you get the analogy. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the local team here, the Atlanta Falcons, did some signing. I want to talk also, guess what? I'm going to talk a little bit of baseball today. One of my favorite subjects regarding baseball and the stupidity that is baseball. If you ever heard me do radio or my previous show, the Sports Kings, I always make the statement that, baseball and I, we'll be friends, but we'll never go together. Or better yet, we'll be associates, but we'll never be friends. Because there's too much stupidity, and there's a lot of, underlying racism that goes on in baseball, too. And just because, I always find it peculiar and funny that when things don't necessarily affect black people on a racial scale, we don't give a damn. We don't care. We don't care about Asians. We don't care about Mexicans. All these people that's rushing to these Trump rallies and getting beat up and all this kind of stuff. Now one of them ain't got an issue with the wall, or they're not vocalizing an issue with the wall that that he wants to build. There is no plan to build a damn wall and then make the Mexicans pay. He's an idiot. But you get my point. No one's mentioning that. How blatantly racist he is against Mexicans. It's whatever. He's kicking black people out of his venues. What about that Muslim lady? She was the first one, and she ain't do nothing. It wasn't no ruckus. She was able to be on CNN afterwards. She wasn't crying. She stood up while he was talking about Muslims or whatever. She just stood there quietly, and they came and took her out. It wasn't an event. There was no. She said people said nasty things to her, but there wasn't anything confrontational. They asked her to leave, and she left. She wasn't somewhere. She didn't stay somewhere. She was obviously not wanted, and she didn't want to come across as someone who was rebel rousing or someone who was causing an uproar. She made her point, and it was time to leave. Not my people. No. Not my people, boy. But, yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that as the show goes on. I don't know. I got a couple of, the Atlanta Hawks are back in, are they back in action tonight? Not sure. I just know this. The Atlanta Hawks are one bad week away from being out of the playoffs. And as heart and gut wrenching as it is to me to admit that Charles Barkley may be right about this team not making the playoffs, it's going to be a problem. For a team that really doesn't have a whole lot of, what's the kid's name? The kid they got from San Antonio. He went out for the season, but he big time contributor. Their core guys, Teague and Schroeder and Al Horford and Paul Millsap have been relatively healthy all year. And this badass Eastern Conference, Toronto got into them the other day. They definitely can't beat the Cavaliers. All these teams are better than the Hawks. The Celtics are up at the top, the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference for whatever that's worth. And they're part of this Hawks conversation I'm gonna have later as well. The Celtics. And we gotta talk about the old men. It's time to bring it back. Just old man, stop talking. And I'm really not that guy to tell people to shut up when they're voicing opinions. But sometimes, man, when your opinion is so off base and so stupid, You have to believe that no one wants to hear that. And maybe it's because you're old. Maybe because when you're old, you feel like you can just say whatever you want to. Maybe that's what it is. But, like, being in the Hall of Fame and all these things, it doesn't make it to the point where someone else is wrong for saying you're an idiot. You're an idiot, old man. Hall of Fame, old man. Like, you were in the Hall of Fame for playing a game, not for speaking and for thoughts. You understand? And I'm not that dude either. I'm not the dude who's like, play football or play basketball, don't speak. No, I'm not that guy either. But when you say stupid stuff, and when you're not even playing basketball anymore, or football, or baseball, you're just an old dude that people feel like they have to show some sort of godly reverence to because you played the game well at one point in history. Nah. Nah, especially when you can't appreciate what's happening currently. You know what I mean? It's like me building a house, right? In 1940. And you know how, like, now if you ever watch HGTV and all those things, people are always looking for houses with character, older houses with character. And like you look at these like fixer-up shows, they'll find these homes and they'll make them brand new, right? And it'll be like some old person who grew up in their house walking into this house with these beautiful, maple floors and this quartz or whatever countertops and these beautiful colors and say, you know what, this is terrible. Like they've tripled the value of the home. They've taken out all the old asbestos, the cancer-causing asbestos, and the steel piping, and put in all new modern stuff. But for whatever reason, because it doesn't look the way it did look, it's terrible. You're idiots. Like, some old people are idiots. Like, I'm the dude that can't wait to be that guy, though. To be old, and hopefully I'm old. I'm old, black, and rich. Now, I can take care of the first two quite easily. Like, nature will take care of those first two. But the rich part, yeah, kind of a little bit ways away from that. Because if you old, black, and you rich, you can pretty much get away with saying whatever the hell you want to anybody, right? Like, there's no fear of retaliation or being thrown in jail. Because, like, if you throw me in jail and I'm 75, all right, I'm going to be here for, like, the next couple of years, and I'm out of here anyway. I mean, out of here as far as the earth is concerned. So, yeah, whatever, dude. And, like, I ain't got to really worry about nobody trying to, like, do jailhouse bad stuff to me as a 75-year-old dude. Yeah, so by that time, and if I'm rich, yeah, what Jay-Z said, I got enough money to fight the case. I'm good. Shout out to Renee Cooper. She's in the building. She says she doesn't understand the Steph Curry hate. Yeah. Renee seems to think I'm cranky. I'm not cranky at all. Life is life to me, man. I just realized that I'm normal and everybody else is weird. Yeah, I've come to that realization. So with that, I'm at peace. Nah, no crankiness here. Everybody's got to have, like, I think there were like 4 holidays this week. 4 like made up holidays happened this week, like behind my back, and I didn't even know it. Like, stop, man. You know what? Like, all holidays to me is a recognition of how crappy the world is and how crappy people treat each other. So then you have to set aside these particular days. Women's Appreciation Day. You know what that day is for me? Yeah, Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just what the hell is that about? Like, people now have to be told, today is the day, make sure you appreciate women today. Yeah, that's an indictment on society as a whole, that you have to be told, and it has to be regulated and legislated to you that today is the day. Today's the day. Remember, like, some lady in Russia, saw this story. She ripped her dude's testicles off. No, actually, not testicles. I'm sorry, because this was the confusing part. She ripped his testicle, singular, one, the left one, off because he didn't get her flowers on Women's Appreciation Day. Like, yeah, these things are going way, way too far. Like, and I saw a sign of that. I guess Easter's coming up, right? Which is, again, man, people think like I'm just like weird dude because I understand that eggs and bunnies don't have nothing to do. Like if you're like a Christian person and you're that dude, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what you believe in religiously. and people like, yeah, it's Easter. All right, whatever, man. Have at it with your funky Steve Harvey suits, bad tailored suits on, and your bright colored alligators. Fine, do what you do. What's Renee saying? You're a man, which comes with male privilege, which is why you don't understand International Women's Day. No, but nothing's changing. like having that day doesn't change the fact that there is male privilege. It doesn't make women's pay equal to men's pay for the same job. Like I'm the dude that's always said, if Serena doesn't get paid at least what men get paid in tennis, she probably should get paid more. Or maybe I should have said that backwards. If she doesn't get paid more, yeah, she should at least get paid equally. Because really, who's watching tennis? Who's the bigger draw? What man? Rafael Nadal? What dude is a bigger draw than Serena? Like, I'm all about that life. But the fact that you have a manufactured holiday about something doesn't change the real issue. If anything, it just masks it for a day. You know what I mean? It just tells men, you know what you got to do? Recognize the fact that society views you as twice the person as your female counterpart. Nope, that's a reality every day. That happens every single day of the year. But, for whatever it's worth, I just prefer people just treat each other better. You know what I mean? Just treat your fellow man. Like, and I have a real steadfast rule when it comes to people. I treat you according to the way you act. Like, I don't care anything about your sexual orientation. I don't care nothing about your race. I don't care nothing about none of that stuff. If you're a good person and you're cool, I'm gonna treat you that way. If you're an a-hole and you feel like you can step on people and those things that people do, I'm gonna treat you that way. I'm a simple person. Some people will say I'm simple-minded, but whatever. To each his own. I'm a simple dude when it comes to stuff like that. I think the world is just full of just people just treating each other so crappy, and then we mask it with these days like Grandfather's Day and Valentine's Day and all these fake ass made up days to one, fund, turn people into consumers. That's the overriding purpose of these days. But then two, when someone says like, I don't do that, what? I can't believe it. You didn't get me flowers on Women's Appreciation Day? Off with your left testicle. That's I don't even know. Like I'm trying to figure out how that happens. Like how you don't get both of them. She tore off. It said tore off, not cut. She tore off one of his testicles. Well, maybe I shouldn't be inquiring that heavily about that. I don't need to know that badly. So anyway, I don't know how I got on that about fake holidays and all that kind of stuff. The weekend's going to turn out to be a pretty good one for your boy, I think. We're going to go, me and the old lady, going to go hang out a bunch tomorrow, starting in the morning. We're going to go down and spend some money in the morning. Then later on, we're going to go check out my guy, Rodney Perry. Y'all should, too, if you're in the Atlanta area. Go check out my guy, Rodney Perry, at the Atlanta Comedy Theater up in Norcross. We're going to go get our laugh on. And Sunday, man, like they say it's going to rain Sunday. I don't give a damn. I've already rubbed my meat. I've already thrown my damn, my rub on my chicken. Yeah, I'm firing up that damn smoker on Sunday. I don't give a damn if it rains or not. It's gonna be a rainy day with some good smoked meat. I know that. Meat coma Sundays is what it's gonna be. Anyway, don't forget also at the bottom of the hour we're gonna do our daily look back on this day, where I bring forth some historical factoids in the world of sports. You know what else happened since I was gone, since I didn't do the show on Wednesday? Calvin Johnson officially retired. And you know what? Good for him. Good for him. And people are going to start taking notice to this, too. Like, as we see these contracts, this TV money start going up. And, like, for the people who are, like, out there, like, oh, my God, I can't believe that dude got paid this. Wait. You just wait till the NFL sells these damn streaming rights. Yeah, they got Yahoo and Netflix and Amazon, all these people fighting over getting these streaming rights for NFL games. Good luck. And then it's not even like if CBS wants them or NBC wants them, it's not included in the current package. So essentially, the NFL will be double dipping with the same entity. Like you'll see games on Fox or whatnot, but then they'll be on Fox Sports or whatever online, but they'll get paid twice, which is going to raise the money for the players. And with that, think about it. If you're Calvin Johnson and you play for this badass Detroit team, right? You getting your body wrecked like Calvin Johnson's experienced like a few significant lower leg injuries in the last couple of years. And you got 100 something. I think Calvin Johnson maybe cashed out, not that fake cash that they talk about in the NFL. He got $72 million contract. Yeah, he's only gonna play 3 years of it. Calm down. I think Calvin Johnson he's cashed out like $100 million. Yeah, that's enough to live on. I think. I think he'll do all right. You know what I mean? The Georgia Tech man. I'm assuming he went to class. I think Calvin Johnson graduated, as a matter of fact, as well. Not entirely sure about that, but he seems to be a bright dude, head on his shoulders, got his situation intact. By all means, man, walk away. I'm not sad at all about that, because you know what? The NFL does what no other league does on the scale that they do it in. Every year, April or May, you get a whole new crop. Yep, whole new crop of dudes. You get 7 rounds. 32 picks a round, except this year you get 31 in the first because of that Deflategate situation. But, you get my point. Yeah. You get a whole bunch of them dudes coming back. It ain't like baseball, a couple of rounds. I think baseball has like 3 drafts, which, again, me and baseball would never be good friends. Yeah, it's not like baseball where a guy gets picked and then he ends up in the minor leagues forever and you don't hear about him for a minute. There are very few Bryce Harpers and very few Chris Bryants and Mike Trouts and those guys, Ken Griffey's, who they can't spend no time in the minor leagues. They're that good. Very few guys are like that. Basketball, you only got 2 rounds. You know what I mean? And most of the jobs are taken. Let's just keep it real. Most of the jobs are taken. So yeah, football is gonna give it to you every year. So when dudes retire, I was talking to Cato Jr. about this on Monday. It's like, it's not a eulogy for me, man. It's just time to move on. Because I'm an adult. You know what I mean? As a child, it was different. But I'm an adult and I understand the sport. I understand what the business is. I understand guys get traded, guys get cut, guys retire. And sometimes guys retire before you think they should. Like my man Branson Wright from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, he wrote something about the Calvin Johnson situation when it was just, rumored that he was going to retire. Another Detroit Lion retiring in his prime. I was like, I saw Calvin Johnson's prime. It was only about 3 years long, and he's not in it anymore. By far. This dude is being covered by one dude. When he was in his prime, it was 3 that couldn't do it. Big difference. So, yeah, I'm good with that. They went, Detroit, speaking of free agency, they went out and get, what's his name, Marvin Jones, the kid from Cincinnati. They still got Golden Tate, who, by the way, I feel like Golden Tate's a pretty good damn receiver, man. People kind of, because he played in that Seattle situation, they never really thought he was a product of, being able to run the football, getting a lot of man coverage. But we saw the real Golden Tate 2 years ago when Calvin Johnson had to miss a bunch of games. Golden Tate got his man on. So they going to be all right, man. If that kid, Eric Ebron, that they drafted a couple years out of North Carolina, if he ever comes along and lives up to, that quote-unquote potential that he had coming out of college, they'll be all right offensively, but it's still, let's keep it real, it's Detroit. It's the Lions. You can't really expect too much out of them. Let's see what Renee's saying in the chat room. By the way, you guys can join the chat room as well if you're listening live right now. I know a lot of people listen live, but they don't really join the chat room. If you guys want to see that little thought bubble at the bottom of your screen, just click on that. You'll be in the chat room just like Renee Cooper is. And make sure you guys are following me on Spreaker.com. The number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE is what you're searching for. One Mike with Big Mike. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. Same handle, the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. And like I said, the little website situation is coming along. And I won't have to give all this information every show anymore. I'll just send you straight there and everything will be available to you. But until then, bear with me. Okay, so let me address Renee's situation right now, because I like to be live and interactive. And she's taking the time out of her busy schedule to holler at me. So she said, you're supposed to give flowers on that day. The day is to bring awareness to women's issues. How about we be aware of it every day? I'm more for that. It's like people say, cancer awareness. Let's do that every day. Can people hold that in their brains? A couple of different things at the same time. LGBT stuff, all that stuff, man. We should. The fact that those things are issues bothers me for one thing. That we just like it's cool for people not to have like regular human rights. It's weird to me, but another story for another day, I guess. Look, okay, because Renee is from Michigan, and I'm talking about that sorry Lions team. Like, people from Michigan know their team ain't good, and I applaud you for staying fans. To be honest with you, the team's not good. It hadn't been for a while. You know what I mean? And Calvin Johnson need to bounce if he feels like the risk, because like if he played for like the Steelers, right? And they were in the mix every year, there would probably be more incentive for a guy like Calvin Johnson to say, all right, this may be worth me sticking around. Because then everybody wants to have like Calvin Johnson, the Hall of Famer, and all that kind of stuff. You know who will figure that out? The Hall of Fame people. But right now, he's just a great wide receiver. He's a great wide receiver for a nice span of time. The people who got to see him play appreciate it. Appreciate the dude for what he did on the football field. Now, also appreciate and respect the fact that he's going to move on to the second chapter of his life. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. Especially in the NFL. It's not like LeBron is going to retire tomorrow. Like, if that happens, that's going to be like shocking. But it's football. Some dude, Corey Coleman or somebody, Laquan Treadwell, he'll be drafted next year. You still got guys like Mike Evans and Mari Cooper, young dudes on their way up to take that, to just kind of like continue on with the league. The league ain't gonna stop. That's the beautiful thing about it. I gotta tell you guys what happened today at the Zaxby's. And you know what? I'm glad Renee's here too, because like we got into this conversation the other day about a little girl being called stupid. Yeah, some of these damn kids are stupid. It's just what it is. Some of these damn kids are stupid, man. I went to get something to eat today, and I got to tell you guys what happened later. I don't have a lot of time left in this segment, but I promise I'm going to tell you guys about what happened to me at a fast food establishment in just a second, and sometime before the end of the show tonight, and it's going to illuminate exactly what I'm talking about. And to be fair, it's not just kids. Some people are stupid, and to call them that, I don't know. Megatron is not the greatest. He's not. He's awesome, but the greatest. See, there you go with that damn hyperbole again, man. People overuse that word. Great. He's great. He's the greatest. That's very hyperbolic. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to take a break here in just a second. We'll come back and we're going to do On This Day. And I'm going to get into this free agent frenzy situation. Calvin Johnson at the top of that because, of course, him retiring caused a ripple effect on the Detroit Lions going out and getting Marvin Jones from Cincinnati. But I want to also talk, especially here in my city of Atlanta, sometimes we don't realize a lot of times how the reputation of a fan base can affect free agency. Now, I don't know this factually happens, but I can only put myself humanly in the mind of another human being and saying, you know what, if the choice is A or B, why I would choose B over A, and how the fan base plays into that choice. And I'm going to talk about that on the other side after I do On This Day. Don't forget, it's One Mic with Big Mike, heard on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. Also, make sure you guys are following me on Spreaker. And once you do that, catch the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock. And join the live interactive chat room, man. I'm having some fun. Renee is crazy as hell. I'm having some fun with the chat room tonight. We're going to talk about the Falcons here in a second. So if you're a Falcons fan and you're listening out there, riding around, not if you're riding, sorry. If you're sitting somewhere stationary, yeah, go ahead and jump on in the interactive chat room. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at One Mic with Big Mike. Just use the number 1. on my Facebook page, facebook.com, One Mic with Big Mike, but this time spell out the one, ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show. Of course, Big Mike here with you for another, maybe another hour and a half or so. We'll play it by ear today. It's Friday. You know what I thought about doing? Going out there and smoking that meat tonight. I'm excited about that, man. I love cranking that smoker up, boy. Oh. Also, I'm being heard on Spreaker.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. Make sure you guys tell a friend to tell a friend. I'd greatly appreciate it. Follow my show as well on Spreaker.com and the app for all your mobile devices at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. Use that same handle for my Twitter and my Instagram. And now you can also email me. You can email me at mike@onemicwithbigmike.com. Still just the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. What else do I got to tell you guys about, man? I don't know. Tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to do on this day, and I got to come back, and we got to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. We got to talk about free agency, NFL free agency as a whole, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on some of the things that I saw go down, some of the players I saw switch teams, guys that stayed put, and why I think some decisions were made by players, and things that we kind of sometimes think are going to happen, and then they don't. There's a reason. And I figured it out. Nah, I haven't. Anyway, it's time for On This Day.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
All right. Very short and to the point today for On This Day. On this day in 1892, the first public basketball game was played in Springfield, Massachusetts. It feels like I've read this before. I have probably. Last year on a different show. And I guess if it happened on this day, it would happen on this day every year. On this day in 1912, the first ever Stanley Cup hockey game was played in 3 20-minute periods. It was formerly played in 30-minute halves. The Quebec Bulldogs beat the Moncton Victorias 9-3. On this day in 1917, the first NHL championship game ever played was at the Toronto Arenas. The Toronto Arenas beat the Montreal Canadiens 7-3 in the first of a 2-game set. On this day in 1927, the first Golden Gloves tournament. I guess that's boxing, right? Yeah, not the baseball Golden Gloves, the boxing version. That happened in 1927. On this day in 1958, starting this season, the American League batters are required to wear batting helmets. So before that, dudes just getting knocked out by the damn baseball. And don't forget, I got some baseball commentary later on in the show as well. On this day in 1986, the New York Islanders, Mike Bossy, is the first NHL player to score 50 goals in 9 straight seasons. And finally, on this day in 1986, the NFL adopts the instant replay rule. And then you remember at some point it went away and came back, and now it's back for good. Supposedly. It should be back for good now because technology has changed. They got like 5 million damn cameras everywhere in the stadium. So NFL replays should be here to stay. And in other sports as well. And the only thing they need to do now is kind of just learn how to, just refine it a little bit more so it's more efficient. And it flows more or seamlessly within the games. Baseball, basketball, and football. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your final on this day for the week. Now, NFL free agency officially started on Wednesday. The beginning of the NFL new year, or the start of the NFL year, was on Wednesday. Thus the name of this episode. Happy New Year. Happy NFL or League New Year, however I wrote it. But not for everyone, right? There's certain teams that are just destined to be bad and stupid. And the Cleveland Browns are one. Everybody couldn't wait to get out of Cleveland. I heard today that somebody can't wait to get in. Colin Kaepernick can't wait to get into Cleveland. And a lot of people look at his situation where he's said to be kind of the teams that are said to be interested in him are teams like the Broncos because of, that Brock Osweiler situation where he kind of just gave him the old took his butt to Houston and left him without a quarterback until today. Yes. Old Dirty Sanchez. The Sanchez. He's now a Denver Bronco. Good for them, man. They trying to revive that dead thing, boy. Yeah, good for that. They figure if he can hand the ball off, but to who? The kid that played running back last year got an offer sheet from the Dolphins. Yeah, from the Dolphins. They lost Lamar Miller, so they're looking for a running back. He got an offer sheet from them. The defense is kind of depleted. Danny Trevathan is in Chicago now. He's an idiot. I guess at his press conference or somebody did an interview with him, he's like he was hoping the Packers would call. Apparently he didn't understand how that plays, that whole Chicago Green Bay thing, how that works out. He'll learn. He will learn. But no. The NFL free agency, it's that time of year, and the NFL does it better than anyone at manufacturing hope based on things like this. See, here's Renee. Colin Kaepernick would be stupid to go to Cleveland. No, he wouldn't be. The fact that Hugh, golly, what the hell is their coach's name now? Hugh Jackson? Hugh Jackson, their coach. He's a guy who he's made his name on his work with quarterbacks, with young quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And he's a guy who, if I'm Colin Kaepernick, I want to play for that guy. I talked about this last year. I'm not a fan of young quarterbacks, especially like young mobile quarterbacks who play under defensive-minded coaches. Look at Colin Kaepernick with Jim Harbaugh, former NFL quarterback, right? Guy who coached Andrew Luck in college. Fast forward, look at him with Jim Tomsula. Like he didn't even know what was going on the football field. There was one time, I remember, in one game, no one was covering Torrey Holt. No one. This dude is jumping up and down trying to get Colin Kaepernick's attention. I think he called timeout or something crazy like that, right? That's a dude who's mentally out of the game. I'm not going to put all that on Jim Tomsula, but I always kind of harken back to a time of hearing Buddy Ryan or hearing Randall Cunningham talk about Buddy Ryan and that attitude of, look, just make me a couple of plays a game and my defense will handle the rest. And every year, the Eagles won like 10 games every year, right? That was the quote-unquote winning formula. Never won a championship, of course, but they won games with that formula. And so many times you look at young quarterbacks with defensive-minded head coaches when they don't have a strong offensive coordinator or quarterbacks coach, it can be a hurtful situation for a guy who's trying to figure it out. You know, Colin Kaepernick was in the process of still trying to figure it out. As good as we saw him play, he was still figuring out the NFL game. And put all of that or for all of that to come to a screeching halt, that's tough, man. Plus, you know, injury concerns, and you know, people talk about you know, his interactions with teammates and all this kind of stuff. Like his girlfriend, like I saw her. There's this show on MTV called Girl Code, and it's hilarious. And I love funny women, you know, women who are just like, you know, are not afraid to be like self-deprecating. There's like this fat black chick that's on there. She's hilarious. Not because she's fat or because she's black. She's just funny. She's a funny chick. But like she don't care about talking about her weight and, you know, how she wears too much makeup and all that kind of stuff. And it's funny to me. And it's supposed to be a funny show, by the way. It's not it's not like they're having like this serious forum and I'm just like cracking up laughing at it. No, not that way. But anyway, his girlfriend is on that. And I saw the picture of them on one of these articles that I don't read. I just kind of see the picture and move past it. And it was like they're out for the first time or something like that. And I'm like, damn, wasn't she somebody else's girlfriend? And I'm looking at like I've seen her like courtside somewhere or some damn where. Where have I seen her from? And she was with Alden Smith, which, by the way, former teammate of Colin Kaepernick. It's like I don't understand how that game get played. Like, dude, you guys are professional athletes. Is the pool of women, and from what I see on Instagram, it doesn't look like it's that shallow, but whatever. Is the pool of women that you have access to that small that you have to, you know, you have to start dating your boy? I don't even know if they're boys, but you play on the same team, cuz it's just way too, you know, ain't really no, I don't know. But anyway, he wants to go to Cleveland. I think, you know, if you're going to start over with somebody who knows it's starting over. You know, everybody's trying to start fresh in Cleveland. They just cut Johnny Manziel today, or as I call him, Devil Tebow. He's like him and Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is like the left shoulder good one, and Johnny Manziel's like the right shoulder bad one. They both can't play NFL quarterback. But like Johnny Manziel's like, no, whatever, skip work today. Like, go out and do coke all night and oversleep. And then Tim Tebow's like, no, don't do that. Just call into work and then come with me to the Philippines and circumcise little boys. You know, there's like two totally opposite dudes. Both, of course, can't play NFL football. I don't know if I mentioned that already. But yeah, that dude ain't had no business in no damn NFL. Like, and for anyone to even broach the subject that, like, there was an article written today that he's a safer on-field bet than Robert Griffith III. Like, I don't know, like, how much I'll be willing to, like, argue that point. But what I will say is, like, yeah, here's the thing I know about RG3 that I can pretty much assume. Yeah, he ain't gonna be nowhere doing coke in the bathroom, going in and out of rehab. Like, for this dude just to be arrogant, you know, like, you start listing quarterbacks and stop at the one that ain't. You know what I mean? Like, the reason there's only 32 of these jobs is because the dude that's doing it, yeah, he think that he's the best at it. So, if that's, and then his health or whatever, because no one saw RG3 play this year. Well, he didn't play because he wasn't healthy. He didn't play so he could remain healthy. And if the off chance came that the Redskins were going to be able to get something in return for him in a trade or something like that, yeah, you don't want to be selling people damaged goods. So they let him get healthy. He rehabbed and everything. He ran scout team for him and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, yeah, we ain't gonna put him on the field. And then when you sign Kirk Cousins to the deal you signed him to, RG3 got to go. You can't have that looming over your starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, and a lot of times, you know, the white media don't want to broach this subject, but there is a racial element there. And I got a homeboy that lives in D.C., and then, you know, that's the original Chocolate City, right? You don't want that looming over there, because the day Kirk Cousins, you know, has a mild ankle sprain and can't go next game, and then RG3 shows up and throws for, you know, 280 and runs for another 80, you got a problem on your hands if you're DC. You might think it's a good or if you're the Redskins, excuse me. You might think it's a good problem. It's a horrible problem. It's a horrible problem to have. So as soon as you sign Kirk Cousins, yeah, RG3 got to pack his stuff. He knew it. That's why he packed his stuff up and left when it was time to clean out lockers. He didn't leave nothing there. God, Renee, why? Like, I'm the cranky one? Renee, why so violent? Whoever said Johnny is better than RG3 needs the piss slapped out of them. I don't know if it's that serious. Jesus. God. Let me give you a hug through the computer, like an internet hug or whatever. Maybe that don't sound good, because when people give internet hugs, it's like posting, like, it's like sliding into people's DMs with, you know, penis pics. I'm not gonna do that. It's like I'm actually forming my arms in a hugging manner. You know what I mean? Like patting on the back, that church hug, you know, booty out type hug. Anyway, the other thing that happened, there's a fire sale in Philly. Everybody got to go. You know, not Vern Maxwell, Byron Maxwell, Kiko Alonso, Riley Cooper had already been kicked to the curb. DeMarco Murray is now a Tennessee Titan. He had to rework his deal to get that fit in. I think they moved up a couple spots in the draft. The Eagles did from like 13 to 8 with that deal. And then, you know, they brought in one of Doug Peterson's former dudes, Chase Daniels, a short quarterback, to quote-unquote back up Sam Bradford. Get your ass out of here. You already told everybody it's a competition. Now you're going to come out today and tell everybody that Bradford's a starting quarterback. Not even Sam Bradford believes that, my man. Then you pay, I mean, Chase Daniels got paid a nice little chunk of change for it to be a backup as well. So good for him. And then people are starting to figure out that as valuable as everyone says, you know, you got to have a quarterback. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys had to have a backup quarterback and didn't. And that turned into a SH you-know-what show down there, B. The other thing that everybody was trying to clown about, this whole Brett Grimes situation. I'm going to get to the Falcons here in just a second. This Brett Grimes situation, speaking of, he's a former Falcon, how it came out, there was some mumblings that, one, he was cut because his wife can't keep her damn mouth shut about things she shouldn't really be involved in and talking about, man. Like even just in your regular life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want, like, let's say, if Brett Grimes is, let's take it all the way down to a level, right? If Brett Grimes is the cashier at McDonald's, then Ryan Tannehill is like the shift chief or the shift manager. He's that. Right? He's not the owner of the show. He don't really run things like the way the coach would. But he's the manager. He's the shift manager, right? You still don't want your old lady, like, on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, talking mess about your shift manager, because that's just a bad look. Now, magnify that times 100, what she was doing. Talking about, you know, Ryan Tannehill's trash. He's talking about his money and all this kind of craziness. And the organization can't have that around. And I find like she got a radio show. Like I kind of want to take like a personal affront to that. You know what I mean? Like, people like me have, you know, put in some work in the broadcasting industry, you know, certified and all these kind of things. And just because she a loudmouth, she get a radio show to talk about what? But needless to say, he got cut from the Dolphins. A Pro Bowl cornerback, which everyone needs, got cut. Right? Yeah, exactly. Renee's saying that it just shows that she don't have no respect for him as a person. I put that on Facebook today. I said on the low, she has to hate him. Because even after he got cut, she didn't stop. Like, and I kind of like limit my, like, I have a real low threshold for foolishness. So, like, once I get the gist of the story and I know the background, I don't have to, like, start checking out her, I think it was Snapchat or something that she was doing, or she went on this another rant to address the people who were saying these things about you. Like, if let's say 10 people listen to the show right now, if you've ever heard Brent Grimes speak, put your hand up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this dude he's meek, humble cat. You know, he's like one of those, like, you know, like she beat me type dudes. You don't really say nothing. Just go out there and ball. One of the most athletic corners in the league. Like pound for pound, he's a short dude, but he's hella athletic. But she just can't keep her damn mouth shut about nothing. You know, and I was like, man, it's a shame, man. They got a kid together and everything. So like even like divorcing her, man, it's like bringing more hell to your life because you still got to deal with her on some level. Yeah, and then she's his manager too, from my understanding. Like she's professionally involved with him as well. But you know, he got a 2-year deal today with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Smith he's the defensive coordinator down there, former Atlanta Falcons head coach. So you can see kind of the ties there. A guy who actually knows what the kid can do on the football field. Probably, you can assume he vouched for him, but no one can vouch for his woman. You know, that's something that just Brent, he got to deal with that, man. Like, look, it's cool. You want to be, you know, you want your voice to be heard and all these kind of things. But yeah, what's your job again? Like your gig is directly tied to mine. I lose mine, you lose yours, and everybody got to suffer now. Like, and people think like, well, whatever, you know, because I make statements like it's taking food off his table. I'm gonna tell you something. My man Terrell Troop told me a while ago. He got picked in the second round a couple years ago by the Buffalo Bills. That always rings true or comes to mind when I talk about these situations and people start acting like these millions of dollars are just that. First of all, it's not. The numbers reported are for lack of a better word, they're fabrications. You know, they're not even worth the paper that they're printed on. But moving forward, we're talking about dudes whose careers are going to be over for the most part. For most guys' careers are going to be over, 26, 27. You know, at the low end, it's like 3.5 years is the NFL career. But a good NFL career, you're talking 9 years maybe, 27, 8 years old. And at that point, you're going to make, what you're trying to do is make all your money, the money that you're going to make for the rest of your life. Because think about it, not everybody's going to go into broadcasting. These dudes don't have any real other kind of training but football. So dudes can go into coaching and things of that nature. You know, a couple guys may go into business. Guys like Jamal Mashburn owns a bunch of restaurants and things of that nature. Guys own car dealerships and things like that. But for the most part, none of those jobs are going to pay you like your NFL gig paid you. You know what I mean? So even with that being said, you still got to take a step back in lifestyle anyway to allow that money that you made during your career to stretch, because very few people are going to make the Peyton Manning $200 million and Julius Pepper $100-something million and Tom Brady money. Very few people, very few athletes or players, are going to make that money. So for this broad to feel like running her mouth and defending whatever she thinks she's defending to people who she don't know and don't know her is ridiculous. And basically that dude is married to a child, cuz. Like that's children's work. Having to respond to every foolish thing or perceived foolish thing someone says about you. Like, even if it's true. God, man, shut up. We talking about money. We ain't talking about money. We talking about big money. A dude that's playing good football. Like, this ain't a dude that's trying to just hold on to a gig and make a team. Nah, it's a good football player. Seemed to be a good dude. But, yeah. You dance with the devil, sir. Or whatever that means. So anyway, you got the Kaepernick situation as far as free agency goes in the NFL. And by the way, this is One Mic with Big Mike. We've got a couple minutes left in this segment. Spreaker.com and the app is where I'm being heard. Also, make sure you guys are following me, One Mic with Big Mike. That's one MICWITHBIGMIKE on Twitter and Instagram. You got the RG3 situation, the Kaepernick situation. As far as quarterbacks go, man, like, people need quarterbacks. The NFL is a team, is a sport that's now quarterback centric. And if you don't have one, you don't have a damn chance. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff is cute. What happened with Denver last year, but it's an aberration. Like, that defense is you got to put them as one of the best based on what they were dealing with offensively. what they had to shoulder offensively and based on the offense that they had to face. You feel me? In the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's one of the all-time great defenses. And funny thing, man, you look at, Wade Phillips and who he is to that offense. Think about where Brock Osweiler is now. People forget Wade Phillips essentially built that defense. For a time. He was the architect of that defense as well. J.J. Watt now. Whitney Merciless is out there. Everybody's still waiting on Jadeveon Clowney to come on and do the things he was drafted to do. They're going to run the football with Bill O'Brien. I think Brock Osweiler will be all right. I mean, if he's decent. You know what I mean? I don't think he's got to be great, but if he's decent, yeah, he'll be all right. And I think he may have found himself in a better situation once everything plays out. Like, this team may lose 9 starters and then show up on day one with Mark freaking Sanchez as the quarterback. Yeah, effing joy that deal. Yeah, get that in your mouth. Today was a sad day, too. Oh, for my white brethren. Yes, indeed. The great white hope, Toby Gerhart. Big white running back out of the University of Stanford. Yeah, he was cut today by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, by the way, they spending money because they got a bunch of cap money. And here's what a lot of people don't understand about the cap also, or the salary cap scenario as a whole. There is a floor. Like, there's a minimum amount that you have to spend. And I think the Raiders and the Jaguars have been below that threshold for a couple of years now, for the last, 3 years now. So that they have to spend money. So you're wondering why, certain teams are just throwing money out that they have to. You know what I mean? They have to spend money to get above that salary floor by a certain time. That's what the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing. And these are teams who are looking to compete. Like this Raider squad, dude, they trying to win. The Carr kid, Mari Cooper. They got what's my kid's name from Texas Tech? Michael Crabtree. Of course, Khalil Mack. Bruce Irvin just showed up on the scene. They looking to get Eric Weddle out that joint to take Charles Woodson's place, the recently retired Charles Woodson. And you look at the rest of that division: Kansas City, San Diego, of course, Denver. Yeah, these dudes ain't waiting around, and we may see a renaissance of some sorts in the Bay Area with the Raiders, man. It'd be good to see. As a matter of fact, their fan base is one of the more rabid, more loyal fan bases. And that brings me to a point that I wanted to make as far as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned. Now, Falcons fans, you guys are, at some point, you got to be truthful with yourself. Like, every year they come out with these, ratings on fan bases and everything. And Atlanta sports falls towards the bottom or the top, however you want to flip the question or the surveys or whatever they are, the lists. One of the top worst fan bases or one of the bottom fan bases, however you want to look at it. And at some point, you got to be realistic with yourself and understand that is who you are, and stop blaming the whole transient city thing and all these, because a lot of cities are transient. Like Miami, and they don't have great fans, but, this is a different beast down here. And at the top of the hour, what I want to talk about and who I want to talk to are fans, and especially here in Atlanta, how it affects what teams are able to put on the floor, or what teams are able to bring in free agency wise, basketball, football, baseball, and in this city, concentrating more so on the basketball and the football team, the Hawks and the Falcons. Because Bruce Irvin made a decision. He told everybody last year that he was coming home. Bruce Irvin, native Atlanta kid, went to West Virginia, spent his whole career, NFL career, in Seattle. He's now a Oakland Raider. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Think about that for a second. And when we get back, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it with my Atlanta Falcons fans. If you guys want to jump on in the live interactive chat room, do so. Follow my show on Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com, or download the app for your mobile device. And follow me at the number 1, MIC, WITHBIG, MIKE. And jump on in the live interactive chat room. Just click on that little thought bubble at the bottom. or if you see a thought bubble dancing around on your screen, on your PC or laptop screen, just click on that, join the chat room. I'm going to talk about these free agents that the Falcons did sign, and two in particular that they did not. And I'm not sure if they were targeting these guys, but the fact that no visits were made, really no attempts were made, I think is an indictment on the fan culture here. Well, partially an indictment on the fan culture here. So I'll come back, and I'll do that next right here on One Mic with Big Mike.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
One mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One mic with Big Mike.
Ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody, there's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Banged Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Welcome back. All right, we're having some equipment issues here. As you can hear, the mic sounds a little bit different. I'm on a different microphone right now. Let me try to solve this issue real quick with the current mic. Welcome back, by the way, to One Mic with Big Mike. Heard on Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app for all your mobile devices. Also catch me online, Twitter and Instagram at the number 1 MICWITH BIGMIKE. That's One Mic with Big Mike. Follow me on Spreaker as well with that. And once you do that, hop on in the live interactive chat room. Give me your thoughts on the subject matter, the topics I'm discussing. Before I start talking about this, about free agents and why some may choose to go other places than home a lot of times. Speaking about here in Atlanta, for a while people were talking about Dwight Howard playing for the Hawks or Bruce Irvin recently coming to Atlanta. He's talked about it last year, coming to Atlanta and playing for the Falcons, and neither one has materialized. Josh Smith was here for a while, and that ended kind of unceremoniously. You know what I mean? He never turned out to be the player that a lot of people thought he had the potential to become. Still in the league, obviously, but still in the league more as more in a support role. So we'll talk about that. But I got to tell you guys what happened to me today. And I hope this is indicative of how my week end starts or it's going to be. So today, right, I'm out. I said, let me get me something to eat real quick. I'm not really like fast food don't do it for me lately here, but I was hungry, hadn't eaten all day, got up this morning, worked out, got the rest of my meat ready for, this weekend, to go on my smoker. And I hadn't eaten. So it was about 2 o'clock, and I'm like, I need to get something to eat. So I pull up at Zaxby's, right? Go to Zaxby's, get, one of the meals or whatever. She says it's $8.55. All right. So normally, I hate carrying cash, but for whatever reason, I have cash on me now. And I was like, all right, I need to start trying to get rid of it. I got cash and change. I hate all that going on. So I pull up at the thing. I give the girl a 20. And I give her what I think is 55 cents. I give her, 50 cents and 5 pennies, right? And she hands me the food, and I see her trying to how that move you have. She's not just handing me bills. I see her handing me coins. And she's like, $11.99 is your change. I'm like, I gave you 55 cents, didn't I? She's like, nah, you gave me 44. Or you gave me 54. I was like, so you couldn't just said, sir, do you have another penny? Or I could have I said, can I give you a penny now and you just give me a dollar bill? Well, I already closed my drawer. And I was like, all right. I just looked at her and shook my head. This little young girl, I guess she's doing her thing, man, trying to, I'm like, come on, this is not really happening. Common sense didn't at some point, jump into your mind and say, there's like a 99.9% chance he didn't mean to give me 54 cents. Nah, she sits there and counts out 99 cents to give me back. Instead of just making it easier on herself, not even just me, on herself by saying, sir, this is 54 cents. Do you have another penny? And I'd have been like, either yeah or nah. And then I put her through the trouble of doing, counting out 99 cents to give me. But it's just sometimes, man, common sense just ain't that common. And especially with these new age kids, and trust me, man, I'm raising one, man. I'm raising one, and it ain't that, man. Golly. It's just golly. What the hell, man? And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my cup holder. I'm like, what am I? I need a change purse or something? What's going on? Oh my God. I was like, this can't be what my weekend is going to be like. I'm looking forward to a good weekend. I look up in the sky too, and it's all cloudy when it's supposed to be nice outside. I'm like, man, maybe I should just curl up and stay in the crib this weekend, man. Do something else. Because if this is what's happening now, Friday, I'm just in the middle of Friday. And this little girl thought it would be more advantageous to both of us to give me 99 cents. Good for her, man. Good for her. I because I'm me, man. This is my therapy, being able to do this. So it keeps me from being are you serious? Your drawers closed? Because there are people who would do that foolishness, start going off over some damn pennies or something. But I just kind of looked at her, and I'm like, you look at an ugly baby, bless his heart. Yeah, that's all I could do. Look, Renee is talking about, am I upset? I'm not upset. I'm laughing about it. It's just horrendously stupid. That's all it is, man. That happens in real life. It's not a sitcom. Real life, that happened. Where's the camera? Where's Ashton Kutcher? I'm being punked right now. Somebody's trying to get a rise out of me. But no, I'm not that dude, man. I just, those are the type of things in life that are just funny stories, man. And it just kind of illuminates a larger problem in society. Oh, work harder, not smarter, ladies and gentlemen. Or no, work smarter. See, look who's being an idiot now. Work smarter, not harder. But anyway, fan bases, right? The fan base here in Atlanta, notoriously very, on and off, hot and cold. Like, I laugh my ass off when I see all this stuff about, yeah, we got Alex Mack. Yeah, Sean Witherspoon is back. And all this foolishness. Like, all that stuff gets said now because it's February. What is it? March, right? Because it's March. And then as soon as this dude drops one ball, Mohamed Sanu drops one ball, or Alex Mack airmails a shotgun snap, like the world is going to be over. It's going to be like Armageddon 2016 around this piece. There's so many highs and so many lows, and perspective gets lost, man. And I look at this Bruce Irving situation, right? And, you know, if you just take the names off of everything, you just say linebacker A, team A, and team B. And you look at it for what it is. This dude, linebacker A, is leaving a city with a rabid, well-known, well-established fan base that loves their team. And, like, people love their teams. People will, like, get in you. People will get in you about their team in Seattle, right? Win or lose, because like people was like mad as hell and defending that performance that they had against the Panthers in the playoffs, which they should have never been in that game. If we're gonna be real about it, never. They should have never been in that game, but they ended up being in it, you know, and having a chance to win. No, wait. Was that the game before that they came back and won? Or did they come back and almost win both of them? I know they came back and won one in the first round. Either way, I'm talking about fan. I don't want to get off track and trying to use my bad memory to recall something that just happened. But, so, linebacker A seems team A and city A. Long established fan base that, you know, are like, you know, lovable losers at times. Team hadn't been good in decade and a half. But 2000, the Raiders went to the Super Bowl. Was that 2000? With Rich Gannon and them. And they lost to the Buccaneers. I think it was around that time, 2000, 2003, something like that. Young nucleus, quarterback who looks like he can play in the NFL. A young wide receiver who, can get it in as well. Another, marginally young, Michael Crabtree, just re-upped. He's not that old. He's on the right side of 30. I mean, I think he's like 27 or something of that, 26, 27. A defense that looks like it's going to be good for a while, And then you have Team B, which linebacker A, he's from that city. So he grew up here. He understands the fan base here. Maybe better than any other NFL player, right? Understands the feelings that the city has towards Team B. He understands that 2 years in a row, Team B was last in the NFL in sacking the quarterback, something that he would be paid to do if he were to come or to go to Team B. But he also knows that if the team doesn't succeed with him there, he also knows this city will turn on him. I've seen the people in this city do some things that I can't comprehend to save my life. Joe Johnson comes to mind. Joe Johnson did nothing. Joe Johnson always he came across as a very, meek dude, just, come to the gym, play basketball, go home. You don't really hear no problems out of Joe. Joe ain't beating up no women. Joe ain't, drunk driving nowhere and, getting arrested. And you don't see Joe up in the club, so-and-so night hosted by Joe Johnson. You don't see that. You go play basketball and go home. His crime, and I use that term like, air quotes, was becoming the highest paid player in the NBA. He didn't rob nobody. He just did. The circumstances, right place, right time, circumstances around the situation involved him becoming that. And oh my God. Like, people here acted as though he went and killed the owners of the team and wrote himself a check for, I don't even remember how much it was. That's like, come on, man. Like, and I was doing radio at the time, and I could never understand it. My co-host, Rob Calloway, was on that whole deal, too, with everybody. At one point, Rob said he needed to give something, like Jamal Crawford was about to become a free agent. And Rob said he needs to go to management and give some money back so they can re-sign Jamal Crawford. I was like, wait a minute. That ain't his job. His job is to get buckets. He ain't in management. That's somebody else's problem to do that. You know what I mean? That's their problem to disperse the money adequately. And if they don't do their job, well, be mad at them. Be mad at the dude who took the check. But it happens that way. So then you look back and you say, man, Atlanta can't get no free agents. And then last year happened. Speaking of the Hawks, last year happened where the Hawks won 60 games, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, conference finals, and people was like fooling themselves. See that? We don't need no damn superstar. Because why? It's not the NBA anymore. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. That kind of stuff, the Detroit Pistons, and like people like to bring that up, right? People like to bring up the Spurs. Like, the Spurs don't have outlandish stars. Like, Kawhi Leonard is like a mute, but he balls. Tim Duncan, for years, balled. Manu Ginobili, these dudes balled. They produce like stars. Tony Parker, right? You go to those Pistons teams that won. That's an aberration. That team situation, the league wasn't as strong at that time. I think that was like post Michael Jordan, where the league was still trying to figure things out. You had a couple of high school guys that were still trying to make their way. Kobe and T Mac and Kevin Garnett and Allen Iverson was still kind of young, and dudes like that were still trying to make their way. And it's not to take anything away from those Pistons teams, because I think Chauncey Billups found his way there after being kind of a journeyman. Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, a guy who just knew what he was good at, hell of a rebounder. But then I always point to Rasheed Wallace on that team. When people say that team didn't have any stars, it's kind of like, nah, Rasheed Wallace ain't gonna be no Hall of Famer, and he's a guy who didn't really see his potential all the way through. I think we all, if we're basketball fans, we can agree on that. But let's not act like with the stuff that we're seeing now, these quote unquote stretch fours. Yeah, I'll reference Rasheed Wallace on this one. Like, before, it was cool and European, when Dirk Nowitzki started doing it, shooting threes and all that. I'll point at Rasheed Wallace. So there was a star quality and there was star talent even involved in that squad. You feel what I'm saying? Renee, get out your feelings. No one's like, I'm actually complimenting Detroit now. Like, but what I'm saying is that most NBA champion teams, just to get back to the original point, aren't constructed that way. So that thing that the Hawks did last year, yeah, it's an aberration. I'm not gonna go to the Charles Barkley route and call it a fluke. It's kind of hard to fluke 82 games. You know what I mean? But it's an aberration. It doesn't happen in the NBA. You know what I mean? You need that dude, and you need a couple of them, as a matter of fact. Like, LeBron is finding that out. Well, he found it out when he left Cleveland the first time, that I need help. I need 2 other dudes, and he went down there, got a couple championships, right? Bunch of finals appearances. But now there is a continuous construction of this team and melding of this team with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love being at the forefront with LeBron James. But everybody realizes that you can't fall up in the joint with, like, yeah, we got a bunch of average dudes. Kyle Korver's our starter. What? Like, all I gotta do is say that. Kyle Korver starts for this team here. So that whole deal about not needing a star is not as much a deal as not needing one. It's not being able to get one. And I think that professional athletes look at that kind of stuff. Like, how will I be treated when I'm there? Like, certain dudes, like Roddy White just got cut, and everybody act like the dude got killed, not cut. Like, he got cut for real. No, he got released from the team. He got fired from his job, basically. But how soon do we forget? Like, y'all was killing him. I worked in sports radio when this was going on, when Roddy White and Michael Jenkins was down there, and Mike Vick was the quarterback. Yeah, I was there. and heard the stuff that y'all said about this dude. Like, at any time, let me tell you something, anytime that I'm in a position to defend the Atlanta Falcons to their own fans, like, I'm not a fan of, like, I love the sport of football, I love the sport of basketball, like, so I don't really have, like, a dedication or a fandom towards any particular team, and I prefer it that way. I used to, but now I prefer it this way. I used to be a big Cowboys fan, but I prefer it this way, because it allows me to be a lot more subjective in talking about teams, and especially talking about my home team. I'll always support the team because I'm from here, right? But that whole ride or die fan, bandwagon, all that, just miss me with it. I'm good. But like when I'm in a position where I'm like defending this dude, Roddy and all this kind of stuff, and people telling me, we need to cut him, he need to get the hell up out of here. Now that he finally does. You never know when the light's gonna turn on for a dude, or when a dude's gonna change his practice or work habits, and you can see the results on the field. And then when you do, people act like that stuff never existed. Nah, you dudes are terrible, man, around here. And during the season, it's comical to me. I look at my Twitter feed during them Falcons games, and it's hilarious. It's every play, man. And if I'm a dude like Bruce Irvin, and I know this firsthand, I'm not getting rumors. I grew up here. And the team already ain't that good. And what am I going to do? Put myself in a position where I can be blamed for things that, he'd be like the Obama of the NFL. He just show up and people start blaming him for stuff that happened before he even got here. Man, we still can't get no damn sacks. Well, start looking at coaching staffs and schemes and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So the Falcons, let's see. Let's look at the Falcons real quick. Let's see who they did bring in. They brought in, I already mentioned Alex Mack, the big center out of Cleveland. Again, it's not something that's flashy. It's not a skill position, some dude that's going to get touchdowns, but it's a way of anchoring your offensive line and protecting the investment you have in number 2, Matt Ryan. You know what I mean? Mohamed Sanu, a guy that's going to come in and try to give Julio Jones some relief. Something that Roddy White, for all intensive purposes, couldn't do last year. Now, people want to start putting up like single photos of Roddy White being open on bubble screens. Miss me, man. Because here's the thing. Now, the story is starting to be told now. We're in day 3? Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're in day 3, going on day 4-ish of NFL free agency. How many rumors are we hearing about Roddy White? You know what I mean? It's a young man's game. And Roddy had a hell of a career here, man. But with all great stories, they must end. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying his career is over. It may be. But for all these people who feel like Roddy White was still some sort of, all Pro Bowl receiver, if he was, the people who get paid to evaluate such things, I would have to assume that you're smarter than them, and I would rather not assume that, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I'd rather assume the people who get paid to do the job are adequate enough at doing the job to not miss on something like that. But the fact of the matter is, that ain't how it works. That's not how it goes, man. So Mohamed Sanu, the other player from where'd he come from? Cincinnati. Where am I at? This was a funny one. Anyway, Derek Shelby, a kid that they're going to be projecting with him, man, and it's a scary thing, man, especially here. If people in Atlanta remember Ray Edwards, another guy who he played opposite Jared Allen in Minnesota, right? And he put up some decent numbers, not quite double-digit sacks anytime, but people felt like he could be better than that if he was the guy. He wasn't at all. So Derek Shelby is looked upon as that same way. He couldn't get what's the kid's name down there, Cameron Wake. He couldn't beat him out, so he played in a rotation, a reserve role. He wasn't ever a starter. So the Falcons signed him as well. Then there was an old, I don't even call it a goodie, an oldie but goodie, just an oldie. Matt Schaub is back in the building. Just in case Matt Ryan starts fighting dogs, Matt Schaub will be here. He wasn't here the last time, but he's here this time. Anyway, and even to make any hay out of that signing, He's got to compete with the dude that's already, the kid out of Tennessee that he just drafted. They're going to have to compete for that, so he may not even make the team. Speaking of not making the team, Sean Weatherspoon. I'm seeing all these memes and all these things. Look who's back, or back home and all this. It's a 1-year deal. Let me explain something to you. In the NFL, all that means is that you come into camp. If you surprise us, cool. We get a deal out of the deal. If not, thanks for being a camp body. Cut. Back to the streets with you. That's all that is, man. Ain't no security in no NFL 1-year deal. You crazy? That means you can come to camp. So he ain't back. He don't need to unpack nothing. You know what I mean? Keep that suitcase on deck, player. Don't sign no lease. None of that. Just chill with somebody. Ask somebody if you can get the couch or whatnot. And then Adrian Claiborne. They signed one of their own. I think that's usually kind of the way to go in free agency, to be honest with you. Take care of your own. I think maybe Chris Long is still on the table. I haven't heard any news, but I know they were in some considerations with him. Chris Long of the LA Rams had a couple of down years. He had a couple of pretty good years, got re-upped, and then kind of fell off the table a little bit. And James Laurinaitis, same team, linebacker, another 100 tackle a season guy. But if you look at the numbers closely, you can see a decline, 1 in production, and 2 in the amount of solo tackles he's got. And the Falcons are going to need to find somebody in that middle, not named Paul Warlow, that can cover, man. That can be a cover linebacker in that cover 3 for them. So that being said, man, Mario Williams didn't even sniff that, I guess. Bruce Irvin got out to Oakland and saw the fact that Khalil Mack was going to be playing the other side and was like, yep, this is going to work for me. Let's go. Pad them numbers. Because now we at the point with, especially these young guys, these 24, 25-year-old dudes that are becoming free agents, you know what they're looking at? They're trying to see what I can do to get that third contract, like Mario Williams did. Feel me? Mario Williams came out in that Reggie Bush draft, Vince Young and all that, right? Got the big deal with the Texans. Ended up being able to hit free agency. Boom. $100 million on paper. $100 million with the Bills. They just cut him. I don't remember what his deal is now with the Dolphins, which is who he signed with. But still, third deal. That's what you're looking for, right? And then that'll probably do it for him. You know what I mean? Unless he gets one of those like Dwight Freeney type situations where somebody brings him in situationally after this. But right now, yeah. That's what it is. And if you're Bruce Irvin, that's what you're thinking about. I got to get my production up because his production wasn't really off the charts up in Seattle. One, because he switched positions from an end, drafted as an end, moved to linebacker, which he himself spoke about, and he said he liked the move. He said he felt like it saved his career in some aspects. But then the fact that they do so much rotation and so many of the guys defensively are specialists that his numbers don't reflect, or from the Oakland Raiders perspective, they hope the numbers don't reflect what he's capable of. So yeah, and for his sake, yeah, I'm gonna go out here to Oakland, try to rack up some damn numbers against these bum ass quarterbacks. Well, I mean, Phillip Rivers ain't no bum, but whoever Denver trolls out there, whoever Kansas City's gonna go with Alex Smith again. So yeah, get your numbers up, man. And then when it's time for the Raiders to cut you, because they're going to probably end up having to, or you're going to have to restructure or something like that, because Derek Carr going to need money at some point, Amari Cooper going to need money at some point, and Khalil Mack going to need money at some point. Boom. While these dudes are on these rookie deals, everything's gravy. But, the NFL will come get you and your money eventually. Speaking of getting discounts on rookie deals, some news about old Russell Wilson. I want to hit you guys with that on the other side of a break as well. I want to talk some Major League Baseball with you guys. I'll give you guys the rest of the more interesting NFL free agent signings from my perspective on the other side, but then we'll get into this Major League Baseball talk as well. Right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show, heard on Spreaker.com. Don't forget, it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 7 o'clock, so you guys make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. And also follow me over the weekend. I got a busy weekend, man. I got a pretty steep weekend ahead of me. On Twitter and Instagram, at One Mic with Big Mike. That's the number 1, MICWITHBIGMIKE. And like my Facebook page, facebook.com/ONE MICWITH BIGMIKE. I'll be back in a minute, man.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show. I got about, let me see, what I got, like 29 minutes left in the show tonight till the weekend starts, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mentioned before the break, man, it's going to be a pretty decent weekend for the kid, man. You know, I'm going to go out here. We're going to go to this tent sale. Adidas is having this tent sale down at Camp Creek, man. I went when it started. Me and the old lady going to ride down there tomorrow. You know, try to do something nice for some people. You know, bless them with some shoes and whatnot. And so we can go down there and purchase a couple of pair, maybe some outfits as well. You know, I gotta balance my bad guy stuff with good guy stuff. You know, it's like a yin and yang thing. I get an allowance to be an a-hole, but then, you know, do nice stuff, like undercover nice stuff for people, and nobody's the wiser. This is Spreaker.com and the Spreaker app. That's where you're hearing me right now. If you're listening to the show right now, feel free, man. Spread the word and tell a friend, man. Sign up for your free Spreaker accounts via the website or the app. Then follow my show, One Mic with Big Mike. That is the number 1, MICWITHBIGMIKE. Also follow me with that same handle on Twitter and Instagram. As far as Facebook goes, the Facebook page is at facebook.com/ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE. I'm going to go, my guy Rodney Perry is going to be doing this comedy thing tomorrow. I'm going to go check that out, man, tomorrow night. Have some fun with that. Then I'm going to get up in the morning on Sunday, see what it look like out there. And, yeah, we'll smoke some meat, man. Y'all going to see it on Instagram. Y'all going to see that. Yeah. I already rubbed them ribs. Ribs rubbed up. Got them wings in the plastic bags with the rub on them too. It's gonna be a movie. You understand? The other thing I want to mention before I continue with all the sports foolishness or whatever, I fell on something the other day. I fell just kind of like something. That's not even the term, is it? I stumbled upon something the other day. I don't know how many people checking for this. This show called Underground. John Legend is the executive producer of this joint. I think it comes on like WGN. It's a series, and it's not like hip-hop, underground hip-hop. It's like the Underground Railroad, some slavery stuff. And for those of you who've heard me do radio before, and, you know, I have like this affinity for like slavery enactments for whatever reason. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so captivating to me. So I'm checking it out. And there's some, you know, it's not even like some, like, I kind of waffle back and forth between like how I really want it to come across. Like if I want like a bunch of, well, sir, no, we's gone, broken English, broken English, in my slave movies to, for the authenticity, or if I'm cool with just people talking the way I'm talking right now. And me just to believe that, they speak that way. And that's pretty much how this show is. They're having like regular conversations, and as sometimes like, the slave dialect will come out in certain characters, but they do like this back and forth type thing. It's kind of weird that way. To me, like, give me one or the other. I don't really mind either way, but if I had my preference, I'd go with 12 Years a Slave. That kind of talk before I go with like, because it just, it makes it seem more authentic. Like, no one knows firsthand how those things went. We have accounts of written accounts and things of that nature, and Hollywood is taking over and giving us, some sensationalized versions of those events many, many years ago. But I don't know. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of that type of reenactment. So I kind of just stumbled upon it. I was watching the basketball game and the commercial came on. And I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I thought I had changed the channel accident, but actually they ran the commercial during the basketball game. So I immediately went to the old smartphone and set the DVR. And later on that night, I watched it, and I was like, yeah, I can dig this. I see some recognizable faces. My man Bubba Gump's in the joint. The little light-skinned chick that's in a lot of those movies like that. The Great Debaters. Was that Forrest Whitaker movie? She was in that. She was in Roll Bounce as a little girl. The light-skinned chick, I don't know her name offhand, but the dude that's like the main slave. I know that's so ignorant. Also, the dude from Law and Order, he was also in Oz. He's on the joint. So it's some, some recognizable name or faces in the show as well. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna give it. Let me give it a run, DVRing it. I think it comes on Mondays, if I'm not mistaken, on WGN. Y'all should check it out. And shame on y'all if y'all didn't check out my other show, American Crime, this season. The season finale was the other day, and it kind of just ended. No resolution to pretty much anything. It just ended, and it was like, all right, are we supposed to like have conversation about this now? Is that why it ended this way? I like resolution, to be honest with you. I like a clean end to things. Andre 3000 and Regina King got hosed, by the way. Anyway, so other NFL free agent moves that I'm kind of feeling. I think I talked about them all, man. The Raiders situation was cool with me. Johnny Manziel getting cut had to happen. You want no damn cokehead and drunkard quarterbacking your team. Compensatory picks were announced today. Those compensatory picks being the picks that the NFL awards you to kind of compensate, as they're called, compensatory picks, compensate for the free agents that you lost in the previous year. The Falcons have none. And it's based on a formula. Excuse me. Gee whiz, I just banged a Mountain Dew kickstart before the show started. It's all talking back to me now. I'm sorry. The Falcons don't have any compensatory picks. I think like the Patriots have 4. I think the Redskins may have 4. And they all start in the third round. You don't get any first or second round compensatory picks, and they're all based on the value placed on the player that you lost. If you lost like an all-pro, Pro Bowler, like this Brent Grimes situation, 9 times out of 10, the Dolphins going to get a compensatory pick for that because of the fact that Brent Grimes is a Pro Bowler and all these things. He's a good cornerback, so you don't get compensatory picks when bums leave. You know what I mean? Some dude that you drafted and you overdrafted him and he wasn't crap and never saw the field. You don't get compensatory picks for those guys if they sign somewhere else. Last thing with the NFL. So Russell Wilson proposed to Sierra. I guess it was today or maybe last night or whatever. And the internet, you never let me down. The internet is such a place where foolery thrives and lives comfortably. You know what I mean? It's just Because now everybody got to put like Future in the back of the background, the pictures of him proposing to her and all this kind of stuff. You know what? Good for him and her or whatever. I think that's one of the other things that I think is so antiquated. And if people really knew what it was all about, like engagements and in marriage and all this stuff, like historically. Like to be engaged to somebody, it served a purpose at one time in society, because so many marriages, especially marriages between people of the higher ups, were between two people who never knew each other. So they went through a quote unquote courting period and engagement to become acclimated, if you want to use that word. Well, if I want to use that word, with each other. So people had engagements back then. Like today, I don't think there's any reason to have one. Like if you like been going with somebody for 3 years, what the hell are you getting engaged for another year just to be able to call somebody your fiance? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And even like it's always funny to me, and it's always one of those like I kind of give it the side eye when women are like really like staunch about marriage. Like you gonna marry me, or I'm out of here if you don't marry me. If we gonna be together this long, you ain't gonna marry me. It ain't always been that way. Like what marriage is and the whole ceremony thing, it's an exchange of goods. Of like the human being. That's why the person, the preacher or whatever, asks, who gives this woman to this other person? That's what it is. Like in biblical terms, all that kind of stuff, historical terms, that's what it is. I'm giving my daughter, this woman who is considered property, to this other man to have it as his property. That's why you see so many of these dudes, this convoluted notion that their woman is their property and all this kind of stuff. Like we talk about like this Future Sierra situation. That's all that boils down to. Like, yeah, there's like a kid involved, but really it's more so about her, And I'm like, trust me, I don't know. I don't really have any, inside details about this. But I know dudes like that. She was my woman. I got her pregnant, and for here and forevermore, she'll always be mine, no matter what I do or she does. It's like that property thing. So it's so stupid and antiquated, man. But I said at the beginning of the show, I'm the normal one. The rest of you dudes are aliens, and I'm just waiting for everybody else to catch up. So moving on to baseball. Yes, Major League Baseball made the show today. And usually, baseball will make the show when they have storylines, but I'm not going to talk about no damn baseball game. I can't tell you last time I sat down and watched the whole baseball game, especially in the regular season. No, not your boy. Ain't going to happen. And the reason why I don't was put out there, if I can say it that way, in a very eloquent manner by what has now become my favorite baseball player. Usually it's the black guys. Like any black dude, what's the kid's name? The kid in Pittsburgh, him, the Upton boys, when the fat one's good. Yeah, they're my favorite baseball player. The fat one, CC Sabathia, even though he's not good anymore. Yeah, I'm good with those dudes. But then and then certain, like those Dominican dudes, yeah, they're black. Come on. Yeah. They're like the other black, you look at them, they pass the eye test, but then there's no hablo inglés when they open their mouth, right? So like guys like Yasiel Puig, and you know what? He fits directly into this story. What story am I talking about? Okay, Bryce Harper. This article in Deadspin says Bryce Harper speaks truth about baseball's unwritten rules. You lose me right there. If it's a rule, write it down, B. If not, I can do what the hell I want to do. You feel me? So this is what Bryce Harper says. Quote, baseball's tired. It's a tired sport because you can't express yourself. You can't do what people in other sports do. I'm not saying baseball is, boring or anything like that, but it's the excitement of young guys who are coming into the game, now who have flair. If that's Matt Harvey or Jacob deGrom or Manny Machado or Jock Peterson or Andrew McCutchen or Yasiel Puig, there are so many guys in the game now who are so much fun. Jose Fernandez is a great example. Jose Fernandez will strike you out and stare you down into the dugout and pump his fist. And if you hit a homer and pimp it, he doesn't care because you know him. No, because you got him. That's part of the game. It's not the old feeling. Hoorah. whatever that means. If you pimp a home run, I'm going to hit you right in the teeth. No, if a guy pimps a home run for a game-winning shot, I mean, sorry. He stops, I guess, and he says, the hell with it. He's all in. If a guy pumps his fist at me on the mound, I'm going to go, yeah, you got me. Good for you. Hopefully I get you next time. That's what makes the game fun. You want kids to play the game right? What are kids playing these days? Football, basketball. Look at those players. Steph Curry, LeBron James. It's exciting to see those players in those sports. Cam Newton. I love the way Cam goes about it. He smiles, he laughs. It's that flair, that dramatic. And golly, you know what? I'm so glad. And you know what? I'm glad that a prominent white player said these things. Because he's right. Like, and I said it at the beginning of the show, there is a racial undertone to this. Because you look at all those guys that he mentioned, you know, Manny, Puig, all those Machado, and all those Hispanic names. You ever get a chance, check out the World Baseball Classic. When like Puerto Rico and the Dominican and Cuba and those Hispanic nations are playing baseball, yeah, oh yeah, it's going digital. Everything they do, yeah, it's going digital. They out there going, they going for theirs, man. And I'm gonna tell you this. You see the year Yasiel Puig had last year versus the year he came up and saved Don Mattingly's job? Yeah, vastly different. And at the beginning of that year, he said, I'm going to stop flipping the bat because I don't want to be offending any people, and I don't want people to think I'm disrespecting the game. That's ridiculous. Like, I'm going to guess, I never played baseball, but I'm going to guess baseball is akin to, like, golf, where, like, you have your routine and you have your swing and you have the way you start it, the way you follow through with it, the way you end your swing. And part of the way he ends his swing is with that bat flip. Well, then he now has to mentally, consciously not do that anymore. Something that he's been doing for the long, I guess you can assume since he's been playing baseball, and then not do it anymore. Of course, I can only assume that's going to take away from your overall game at the plate. So I love the fact that Bryce Harper's bringing this to attention because people don't like baseball. People don't want to hear your sport is dying. Well, look at the business model. Look at the money that baseball is making and the money that the players are getting. Yeah, you know what that's called? Like with the housing market, it's called a bubble. You understand that? It's called a bubble. The average age of your fans is 55. Are those like the baby boomers? Yeah, they about to get up out of here. And the fact that now soccer is a lot more appealing to kids. Of course, basketball and football are a lot more appealing to kids. And in this world where everyone has this microwave mentality and everything has to happen at the touch of a finger, it has to happen, almost instantaneously. Baseball doesn't fit in that. In a game where you sit there, like the other day, a kid almost got killed, literally. Bat flies into the stands. It just so happened. And the kid's playing on his phone. He's looking down at the phone, playing a game or whatever. Dude sitting beside him, I don't know if the dude is related to him or not, but throws his arm in front of the kid's face to keep the bat from hitting this kid in the face and potentially killing him. It just doesn't appeal. There's too many other things to do. There's too many other ways to go about obtaining entertainment for somebody to honestly believe that baseball is in a good place. It's a better place than it's ever been. Don't let the dollars and cents fool you. Don't let that fool you. Now, for a baseball person to feel like that's not a problem, then why is baseball continuously trying to tweak the rules? Rob Manfred, right? Just last week, new rules, right? Aimed at reducing unnecessary contact between fielders trying to turn double plays. The one talks about sliding into second base. During a double play in previous years, guys was kind of like, as long as they were in like fingernail length of the bag, would try to take out the second baseman or the shortstop from turning the double play. Well, last year in the playoffs, a guy got hurt. I think one of the Mets players got hurt. So this year, of course, everything is so reactive in sports. One thing happens, everything has to change. That's just the way it is. You can complain and holler and scream about it all you want to. like one old baseball player is doing, and I'll bring that up here in just a second. But now this rule says base runners can still make contact with fielders as they slide directly into second base, but they cannot deviate and go all the way out the way to try to get some dude to break up a double play. The rule will be reviewable because baseball now has implemented a form of instant replay. And if an umpire rules there is a violation by the runner veering offline to disrupt the fielder, the runner and batter both are called out. So they still the other team, the defensive team, still gets credit for the double play. The other thing that they're doing, they're trying to speed the game up. And I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. I think what Bryce Harper is saying is the problem. That within the game, the excitement isn't there within the game. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that people who love baseball tell you have to appreciate the strategy and understanding what the pitcher's thinking and what the next pitch is going to be and how you get this guy out. And, you got to appreciate the cat and mouse game between the pitcher and the catcher. I mean, the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter. All right. That's it. Sorry, guys. I'm having problems with my tube here. That seems like a lot to go through just to enjoy a sporting event. You know what I mean? So what baseball's trying to do is they're putting time limits on things. There's already a time limit on the official reviews, but now managers and pitching coaches will only be allowed 30 seconds to visit the pitchers on the mound. The break time between innings has been trimmed from 20 seconds trimmed by 20 seconds to 2 minutes and 5 seconds for most games. 2:25 for nationally televised games. That's a weird number. Why not just 2 minutes and 2:30? That's weird. Last year they tried it, and the pace of play changes trimmed the average 9-inning games last season from 3 hours, 2 minutes and 21 seconds to 2 hours, 56 minutes and 14 seconds. I don't know that makes that much of a deal, to be honest with you. Batters can't step out of the batter's box in certain situations anymore. This started last year. I don't think that's that big a deal. And then, two, there is no penalty situation in baseball. So if a dude does go out there and he spends 40 seconds on the mound, a pitching coach or a manager. And then when does it start? Does it start when he gets to the mound, or can he just take his sweet time getting out there to the mound while his relief pitcher is warming up in the bullpen? Or is there a limit to how many trips he can make to the mound? What about your catcher? Is it a time limit on the catcher coming to the mound? All these things can still happen. And the fact that it's not like football where you can give somebody a sportsmanlike conduct penalty, or in basketball where you can get a delay of game penalty. What the hell are you getting? What's the penalty in baseball? And I'm gonna tell you like this: start changing the rules. Start changing the actual ins and outs of the game. Adding strikes and balls, or adding an out, or something crazy like that. The other team now gets 4 outs. Yeah, you want to talk about a problem, a public relations problem. These folks don't want you playing with their game. Hell no. Who is it? Matt Kemp? Not Matt Kemp. Who was it? David Price, the other black guy, the other light-skinned guy. He says that baseball should allow players more free reign with things like gloves and the accessories, shoes and things like that, so that it does appeal to younger guys, to younger players. He says, "Let us express ourselves." He says, "Quote, let us express ourselves. They say the shoes make the man. We need to be able to express ourselves. If we can't express ourselves, guys want to." Or we can't express ourselves to the media like guys really want to. We're puppets. We don't need all the control, but we want to be able to control ourselves and not to be a puppet with a puppet master hanging over us with the strings. Now, David Price is one of the guys who wears Jordan cleats. You know what I mean? And you say, well, will the kid look at some cleats and say, man, dang, I gotta have those? Well, not necessarily, but if they make a tennis shoe version of the cleat and it's hot, because they make football cleats, Jordan cleats. Des Bryant wears them. You know what I mean? They look like the shoes except they got cleats on them. You know what I mean? At one point, I guess I found this out today. There's a 51% rule in Major League Baseball as far as the cleats are concerned, that your cleats must be at least 51% black. Imagine that. Something in baseball has to be majority black. Go figure, I guess, right? What time do I? Okay, I got 6 minutes. I got to tell you about the old man stop talking portion of this show. Brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Hall of Fame pitcher Goose Gossage did an interview with ESPN, I guess earlier in the week, maybe. He's 64 years old, and like most of these old crotchety, curmudgeon old men, everything was better 50 years ago. Really? Really? How was your cell phone back then? You know what I mean? So he goes on this like this is a rant. Like, people use that word rant really loosely about things. Anybody that's expressing an opinion is ranting. No, this is the true. Look up rant. This is it. He says, quote, this is the interview with ESPN, I guess. The game is becoming a freaking joke because of the nerds who are running it. I tell you what has happened. These guys played rotisserie baseball at Harvard or whatever, the blank. They went and they thought they figured the blanking game out. They don't know blank. A bunch of blank nerds are running the game. You can't slide in the second base. You can't take out the blank catcher because Buster Posey was in the wrong position, and they're going to change all the rules. Because once again, this guy doesn't understand economics. Speaking of things that weren't better, the pay. I'd like to knock some of these blank on their blank and see how they would do against pitchers in the old days, because everything is better in the old days. Training technology has advanced. The bats, the gloves, the balls, pitchers are bigger, faster, stronger. They went through the steroid era, all those things. But he's 64, so we can assume he played 40 years ago. Things were better. Then he goes after people individually. Bautista is a blank disgrace to the game. He's embarrassing to all Latin players who ever played before him. Throwing his bat and acting like a fool, like all those guys in Toronto. Yoenis Cespedes, same thing, end quote. See, this is what I'm talking about, that racial thing that's in there. Like, these white boys feel like this is the last bastion of purity, this sport, where at one point everybody was doped up and had size 18 heads, and dudes was throwing the ball 400 miles an hour and hitting it 700 feet. Yeah, this pure game. They seem to try to want us to forget that part of it. The game that for so long has all these hollowed records. They don't include a time when black people were allowed to play. You know what I mean? Like, miss me with that. Like, feel free to invite yourself to this century. You know what I mean? Where things can be, when the reality is you're playing a kid's game. Have fun. You know what I mean? That whole notion that a dude flips a bat, now you got to hit somebody with a baseball. That's assault. Like, in the real world, you can't just go around doing that because someone stared at you. And you want to speed up the game of baseball, stop having these fake-ass fights. Two dudes get to talking mess, and everybody got to get on the field. And then everybody has to be cleared off the field. You know what I'm doing while all that's happening? Flipping the channel, because I know ain't nail punch about to be thrown. Yeah, start there. And I'm all about what I want to keep calling him Matt Kemp, man. David Price and Bryce Harper are saying, man, let dudes have fun. Like, if I hit a ball 400 feet, dude, I would moonwalk around the damn bases. That's hot. Not me moonwalking. I mean the ability to hit a ball that far. You're showing people up. Get out your feelings. Stop being a third grader. Like, that's if I can say I hated one thing about, like, the society that we live in, there's so much equity placed into other people's feelings. And no one can say anything anymore at the risk of someone's feelings being hurt or someone being offended. Come on, man, grow up. This ain't third grade. Somebody's words to you, okay, they may hurt your feelings, but your life got to go on. I mean, like, things have to be done after that. Maybe that's why I like looking at those slave movies and slave shows so much. Because I guess I look at them like, if these dudes knew what dudes today were mad about, They'd be like, yeah, we love that. We can have it that way. And I'm not saying things are good for black people now. In no way am I saying that. But I think sometimes we kind of get caught up in the notion of being quote unquote down for the cause when no one knows what the cause is. You know what I mean? Like there's no doubt in any rational person's mind that there are some substantial racial issues in this country, right? But some of the methods that people use to try to rectify them, I think they're fool's gold. I think at this point in society, too many black people prosper from the fact that racism exists. I ask the same question all the time. Where does Al Sharpton preach? Where does Jesse Jackson preach? Like, what are their jobs? Their jobs, yeah, their jobs revolve around the race issue. And if it wasn't there, what would they do? I'm not saying like I know the answer, but it's something to think about. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's officially the weekend. I'm done, man, for the week. The show will be posted. I'll be tweeting it out and tweeting the link out, so everybody who didn't catch it live, you can catch it after the fact on Spreaker.com and the app. Download that app, man. All weekend long, you should be out and about, enjoying your family, enjoying yourself. But while you're out, you got some time in the car. You know, you want to hear a different perspective on this thing we call sports talk. By all means, man, check it out and spread the word to all your friends. Have them check out the previous episodes, the previous interviews, and all those kind of things. You can leave comments and all those things as well. You want to do that? Send them to my email. It's Mike at One Mike with Big Mike. You can send them to me on Twitter and Instagram at One Mike with Big Mike. That's the number 1, MICWITHBIGMIKE. Or to my Facebook page, facebook.com, ONEMICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be back on Monday. I'll be tweeting and all those things during the weekend, telling you guys how my weekend's going, how Rodney Perry's show went. You're going to see how this meet turned out too, boy. Oh, yeah. I can't wait. So you guys have a good one, man. Get back safely. So I'll see you guys and talk to you guys on Monday.